Today we're going to talk about dilation. In these first two examples, what we want to do is find what the image or the pre-image length of our segment ST is. So in this first example, they give us ST equals 12. Now since there's no primes, I know that this is my pre-image. So the pre-image ST is 12 units long. I want to dilate it with the scale ratio of 6, and that's what that R equals 6 is. So if I know that my original segment ST is 12 units long and I want to dilate it with a ratio of 6, I know that it's going to get bigger, and it's going to get 6 times bigger. The keyword being times there, so what I'm going to do is take 12 times 6, which equals 72. So S prime T prime has a length of 72. Alright, example 2 here, you'll see that we are given S prime T prime to be 16 after we dilate it with a ratio of 1/4. So that means that my image S prime T prime is 16. So again, if I wanted to draw a segment here, this would be S prime T prime, which is 16. That's after I dilate it with a ratio of 1/4, which means that the 16 is smaller than what I originally started with, because I took the original and dilated it with 1/4 to get the 16. So again, I dilated it with a ratio of 1/4. If I dilate it with 1/4, that means it gets smaller. So that means my image is going to be smaller. So my pre-image has to be bigger than what my image is. So what I can do is set up an equation to solve this. So I have 16 equals 1/4 of whatever the pre-image was that I started with. So this X represents ST. So to get rid of this 1/4, of course I have to divide by 1/4, or you can multiply by 4. And again, when you divide by fractions, make sure you use parentheses. 16 divided by 1/4 ends up being 64. So X is 64, which means the pre-image ST was 64 units long. We'll do another one. These examples here, what we want to do is we're given 3 points and we want to dilate them so that we have our new points of our new image. So A prime, if I dilate it with a ratio of 3, that means I'm just going to multiply all the coordinates by 3. So -1 times 3 is -3, and 1 times 3 is 3. B prime, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. So B prime is at 6, 9. And then C prime, 4 times 3 is 12, and 6 times 3 is 18. So my image points are at -3, 3 for A prime, B prime is 6, 9, and C prime is 12, 18. We'll do one more. So for this one here, we have A at -2, 1, B at 3, 4, and C at 5, -3. And we want to dilate those with a ratio of 1/3. So that means my image is going to be smaller than the pre-image, because I'm dilating with a scale factor of only 1/3, which is less than 1. But again, all I have to do is multiply. So A prime becomes -2/3, and then 1 times 1/3 is just 1/3. B prime is going to be 3 times 1/3. 3 times 1/3 is 1, and then 4 times 1/3 is 4/3. And lastly, C prime, 5 times 1/3 is 5/3, and -3 times 1/3 is -1. So my image points, A prime is at -2/3, 1/3, B prime is at 1 4/3, and C prime is at 5/3, -1. And that's how you can dilate different points or lengths of a segment.